Good evening and welcome to this sort of unscheduled episode, I guess, of Debit Credit Done. So my name's Dean, and for those who don't know, I'm the creator and founder of the Debit Credit Done podcast. So I just wanted to come online this evening just to talk a little bit about a special event that I attended in London last Friday. So some people that watch the podcast may know I attended the AAT Connect and Impact Awards 2025 held in London last Friday. So I just want to just almost talk about two things. So we're going to talk a little bit about AAT Connect, and then we're going to talk about the Impact Awards separately. So AAT Connect then. So just for those that don't know what AAT Connect is AAT's fairly new first iteration of that was last year. So second running of AAT Connect. And what it is, it's a members event for AAT members. So it covers the AAT QB, so the AAT Qualified Bookkeeper, the MAT, so a member of Association of Accounting Technician, and FMAT, so fellow members of Association of Accounting Technician, as well as licensed members, so that could be licensed accountants or licensed bookkeepers. So it's a gathering of minds, essentially. So it's a gathering of a lot of inspirational people across the industry and across the AAT community. So the AAT Connect aspect of the day is really listening to other members and their inspirational journeys. So went to a number of sessions. So I started the day with a session from Chris Downing from Sage, talking about how it's at the time it was 101 days to the start of this big iceberg that is making taxes for income tax. Now, I've been to a number of MTD sessions over the past year, but I think, I've been to a number of Chris's sessions previously, and Chris is, there's arguably not many people that are more passionate about MTD and the opportunity that MTD is for the industry. So a great start to the day. Learned lots of things, asked a few questions, got some good answers, some good discussion in the room. We moved on to look at some of the other sessions. So just pick out a few. So I went to a session with Becky Glover and Claire Elliott. Claire, for those who don't know, won 2 awards at the AAT Impact Awards, which I'll talk about shortly. So Claire's a CFO in a software company. So she talks a little bit about her role as a CFO and how we really need to rephrase that CFO role into really what is it we do. It's not all about the numbers, it's about the value that we can add as accounting and bookkeeping professionals. So there was some discussion alongside as part of the panel and in the wider audience about how really we're not CFOs, we're CVOs, Chief Value Officers, because of the value that we add to the business. So I found that very motivating, very inspiring, listening to both Becky and Claire talk quite passionately about their roles and about sort of the wider impact that the profession can have on businesses. Then went to look to a panel discussion on mindset. Now, this is something that I personally have struggled with for a number of years. It is that imposter syndrome, that believing that I almost don't belong in this industry, and that what do I have to offer to this industry? You know, I've had all those thoughts. I think, you know, it's this thing that lots of us have had these thoughts. So one of the panel, you know, there's lots of people on the panel. There's Craig Dyer was sort of, you know, looking at running the panel, if you like, and sort of directing the questions across the panel. Craig, for those who don't know, is the new vice president of AAT. Someone that, you know, I certainly have been following Craig's story for a little while. He's got his own business, you know, he's a big supporter of early career individuals. So a lot of his business is made up of apprentice and early career professionals, as well as, you know, he's a big supporter across the wider community of students. He mentors a number of students, and, you know, really inspiring story. Alongside him, really, on the panel was someone that, you know, whose journey I've been following for a little while, and a winner of a AAT One to Watch at last year's Impact Awards. So Julie Spence, who runs No Expense Limited up in sunny Scotland. So I'm sure Julie won't mind me giving her a shout out on the podcast. Julie's story is nothing short of inspirational. You know, what she's created with that business, and you know, the way she's had to develop that winning mindset is nothing short of incredible, really. You know, she's having spoken to her, you know, briefly, you know, in person, and, you know, a number of times, you know, on LinkedIn and remotely, you know, what comes across is that commitment to doing the right thing, that commitment to her clients, her commitment to her CPD, her commitment to the wider industry. You know, and I think that comes from within. It comes from having that mindset that, you know, very much a collaboration over competition mindset. You know, Julie shared some of the story about how, you know, she reached out to other businesses, other accountants in her area, you know, and how she could help them and how they could help her. You know, and it is very much about that collaboration rather than seeing everyone as competition. And I think that's, you know, it's an inspiring story. And, you know, I certainly am, you know, interested to see where she takes the business and the undoubted success that she's going to have over, you know, over the next year, 5 years, 10 years. So then we moved into the sort of second part of the day. So the second part of the day, which I do want to touch on, was the AAT Impact Awards. So the AAT Impact Awards, what can I say? So the AAT Impact Awards, 12 awards across the number of categories. So Practice of the Year, Bookkeeper of the Year, Sustainability Champion, International Champion, and a number of other awards. Rising Star, and then what some people would say, the biggest award at the end, which is the Outstanding Contribution, which used to be known as the Past President's Award. Now, before I even talk about that, I just want to say every single person in that room that was on any of those shortlists for any of those awards are incredible. Yeah. Anyone, in my eyes, everyone in that room is incredible. But anyone on that shortlist for any of those awards are truly inspirational people. People that are the very best of the very best. Yeah, AAT is the very best. I almost won't have anyone say anything other than that. AAT changed my life. AAT is the best accounting body, period. Done. And those people in the room, the people in the room are the best. And the people on those shortlists are incredible people. Yeah, absolutely. Every single one of them, in their own way, are having an impact. Yeah, a humongous impact in a humongous way. So, for those that don't know, I was nominated, which in itself blows my mind, because all I do is my job. What I do day to day is the job I'm paid to do. Now, you know, I've said this to a number of people, and lots of people say, yeah, but Dean, you go above and beyond. You know what? No, I do my job. My job is to help students. Yeah, and if that requires me to do hours outside of work, if that requires me to, you know, engage with the student community outside of my day job, that is what I'll do. Yeah, it's a deep sense of purpose. It's a deep sense of believing that in my own small way, I can help students to change their lives. And there truly is no greater job, no greater privilege than being able to impact on someone else's life. So, I was, as I mentioned, nominated for the Outstanding Contribution Award. Now, I just want to say massive, massive thank you to any single person that's either watching this, listening to this, that took the time to fill in a nomination form and nominate me for that award. You seriously have no idea just what that means. To be recognised for the job I do is not something that is easy for me, because, you know, it's not about me. It's never been about me. It's about the students, and it's about the wider community. It's not about me. It's never been about me. It never will be about me. So I want to thank anyone that took the time to nominate me. And then a month, 6 weeks ago, something truly incredible happened. I woke up quite early in the morning to a message from a very good friend of mine that said, "Dean, you aren't going to believe this." And I thought, oh, what's gone off now? You've been shortlisted for the AAT Outstanding Contribution Award. Now, what can I say? Imposter syndrome, massively. Like, why am I even in that conversation? Yeah. What I do is my job. It's just what I do, day in, day out, is to help students achieve what I know they can achieve. And as I've mentioned, it gives me a great deal of satisfaction and a great deal of sense of purpose that I can use the skills that I have developed over a number of years to help. Yeah, and that's all I ever want to do. That's all I've ever, you know, when I took that life-changing decision to leave my industry job, move into teaching, it was with one sole aim: to make a difference. Yeah, And the fact that people out there think that's what I'm doing is the greatest compliment that I can ever have. So I was on this 7-person shortlist against some truly incredible people. Now, I'm not here to necessarily call anyone out or not call anyone out. So if I don't mention your name, that's not because I don't think you're having an impact. I absolutely, as I said earlier, everyone in that room is incredible. Everyone on that shortlist is, well, mind-blowingly incredible. But I couldn't possibly talk about those awards without mentioning a few people. So, one person that was on that shortlist and someone that I just think is incredible. Andy Murray. So, not the tennis player. So Andy Murray, yeah, what an incredible human being. Very active across, social channels. A massive supporter of AAT, a massive supporter of what this fantastic organisation is doing. A massive part of the branch network down in Leicestershire. And as well as that, a huge supporter of something that is very close to my heart, which he does a lot of charity work, a lot of work with male suicide charities. Something that's not talked about enough, something that, I've experienced, friends that have taken that route. So Andy, this is, you deserve that. You deserve that, mate. Highly commended. It's not every year they go down the highly commended route as well. You deserve that. Yeah. And then, what can I say? The winner of the 2025 AAT Impact Award for Outstanding Contribution is someone that is a once-in-a-generation force, someone that has changed the landscape, someone who is an inspiration to many. So, she's in lots of conversations within my classroom. There's lots and lots of students who aspire to do what this person has done in their career to date. So you probably all know who I'm talking about, but Grace Hardy. So Grace is a superhuman. So what Grace has achieved through AAT, through her hard work and through her, extremely successful business, her social channels, her podcast, and her other business interest is nothing short of remarkable. And as she says, that all started with AAT. That all started with an apprenticeship when she left school in AAT. And that goes back to my earlier point, really, that AAT transforms lives. It has this massive transformational impact of being able to change the direction of people's lives. Whether that's someone at the early stage of their career or whether that's somebody retraining at 40, the impact these qualifications can have is huge. So, I couldn't be prouder of Grace and what she's achieved. I think if we were to look and, Grace has achieved so many things in such a short space of time. But I think the one thing that stood out for me, and the one thing that makes Grace a truly deserving winner of the Outstanding Contribution Award, is her drive to get financial literacy on the agenda at the DFE and get it into every school. Long overdue. It needed to happen, and I, for one, am overjoyed that finally people are listening, and it's through people like Grace that is part of the conversation, and that the conversations are being had at the top level of government around financial literacy skills being part of the education framework in this country. So I left AAT. So there's lots of other things I can say about AAT Connect, and the Impact Awards. But one thing I definitely want to say is that I spent the day with an incredible group of people. So big up to Table 15. Emma, Bridget, Katie, and the rest of Table 15. You guys are an incredible set of people, true friends. Yeah. And it just, AAT Connect and the Impact Awards just blew my mind. And it's the first time in a long time where I've truly felt like I'm part of something much bigger than me, part of something where I belong, where I truly belong. And that is, it's the most inspiring thing. It's the most inspiring event I've ever been to, and that event will change my life. Yeah. So that's it from me. I've had a few questions about the podcast. Is the podcast going to continue? The podcast absolutely going to continue. I am looking at some additional content for the podcast for the YouTube channel, and we will be back up and running on Debit Credit Done very shortly. Until then, I'm Dean. Thanks for listening. Good evening.